Chapter 6 of It's a Dangerous Business Going At Your Door by Jetfire 2020. Applejack woke first, just as the pale light of the dawn began to peek through the trees. She was always used to rising at sunup, did so even without her trusty alarm clock. Yawning, the orange earth ponies tossed off her blanket and rose to her feet. She gave herself an enlightening shake. She reached down and took up her brown voiced cow in her mouth, with a toss of her head, flipping her head up between her ears. Pappy, she thought, feeling a familiar lightness on the hat of her head. What would you think of your little AJ now? All grown up and on an adventure. She stalked gently towards Rainbow Dash and nuzzled her behind the ears. Wake up, Rainbow, she said. It's time for breakfast. Then get a move on. Dash mumbled and turned in her sleep. She was still wrapped in her blanket. Rainbow Dash, wake up! Applejack said, louder this time. There was still no response. Rainbow! Huh? Oh. The Pegasus gurgled as she finally regained consciousness. She sat with the blanket still wrapped around her, making her look like a worm. She tried moving, but gained no ground with the blanket around her. This caused her to panic. Ah! Ah! I'm trapped! Oh, yes, Your Majesty. I was right, he mumbled, stirring from a dream. She raised her sleeping mask off of her eyes and her hoof. She frowned. Oh, Tarot, it's the morning, isn't it? And I was having such a lovely dream. Oh, Celestia, I can't move my wings! I'm in a horrible! Rainbow, would you cut it out, will you? Applejack cried. Dash finally realized he was not ensnared by some horrible beast. Pegasus yawned. Morning, everybody, she said, wriggling out of the blanket. She stretched her wings back and then stretched her body forward, lowering herself until her chest nearly touched the ground. Back cracked a few times. She cracked her head from side to side as well. Who's up for breakfast? We gotta make it quick, Applejack said, and to roll over a blanket. At least it's south raining. Y'all help me break camp, then we go dance the grass. Ew! The grass is going to be soggy, Verity whined. Can't we just have some apples? I didn't pack 2 saddlebags full of apples, the orange pony said. I only got so many with me, and we used a fair number of them yesterday. We gotta go surfing for the times we ain't got no ass, like the nap one in the mountains. You know, Bears, Dad said, hovering slightly off the ground. We offered to get you some leaf still stands. Randy kicked off her blanket in annoyance and sighed. Well, fine. Can't be any worse than smoggy, smussy grass. Plug me up a branch or two, will you, Rainbow? Applejack said, holding her blanket tightly. Stuffed it into a saddlebag. And they were trying to leaves with her. All right, let's reach out breakfast. Coming up! Blue Pegasus shot out of the tin of rainbow blur. Randy used her magic to compress her pillow, shoving it back into one of her saddlebags. That Hody best not be pulling on eggs. If I have to gobble a pulpy green mess for breakfast, I'd rather just go hungry. She's awful enthusiastic about the leaves, Applejack replied, beginning to pull at the blanket laid over the ground. I reckon she tastes pretty tasty. Yes, dear Applejack, but Rainbow Dash is not always the best judge of others' tastes, the White Unicorn responded. Do you remember the time she tried to convince us to go cliff diving? Applejack chuckled at the memory. Shucks, I thought that was kind of fun. You just chickened out because you were afraid of heights. One plummet for the sky to my impending doom. Per lifetime is enough, thank you very much. Dash abruptly soared back to the tent, with 2 tree branches full of leaves tucked into each one of her leg. They're carrying her mouth. Ladies, she said, spitting out the branch in her mouth, breakfast is served. She dropped her 2 branches under her legs, got the third between her front hooves, began to rip off the leaves with her teeth, chewing noisily and making satisfied sounds. Applejack pinned 1 branch in place of her hooves, and bit down and nibbled off a leaf. She chewed it thoughtfully, considering the taste as it hit her tongue. Tart, she said, her mouth full. She swallowed. A little like a great sweet apple. Brady was busy nipping a leaf into small chunks. Not quite as bad as I thought it would be. That's the spirit! Des cried, shoving her mouth into the remaining branch and taking an enormous bite of leaves. The bright green sprouts of the spring looked like a beard around her snout as she slowly chewed them down. They're so fresh, especially in the spring, and nobody's been walking all over them. Well, the White Unicorn admitted, that's not. And Applejack's insistence, they ate quickly, each of them visiting their branches in swift succession, notwithstanding Rarity's usual daintiness. What followed was the last night in reverse. Rarity used her magic to remove the rock weights around the top. Rainbow Dash carried it back over to the branch, and all three ponies worked together to fold the large oilcloth and shape it into a compact enough to fit into Applejack's saddlebag. By the time the sky was orange with the risen sun, they were packed up, set out amidst the trees, quickly reaching the same crisp peace they kept from much of the previous day. Soon the gentle slope they had begun to encounter yesterday grew steadily steeper, and the broad-branched oaks and elms and ashes gave way to prickly pines. The path began to grow rocky. Rarity almost lost her footing on one particularly large rock in her path. "Cause we slow down a bit," she cried. "We don't want to fall off the mountain." "Well, we're in danger of that. Yeah, we'll slow down," Rainbow Dash cried back. "But not before." "You're not even running," the unicorn chastised the Pegasus. The dragon-braced mountains climbed higher and higher, the path growing steeper and steeper as the morning wore on. By the time noon arrived, they were almost above the tree line. A slight chill had begun to pervade the air. Rarity shivered. "Ooh, it's getting cold," she said. "It has started to get mad chill," Applejack concurred. She and Rarity slowed to a trot. "Yeah, you girls are wimps," Dash said as he shot past them. Banking hard, she spun around and put her hose on her hips. "Not cold at all!" "You wouldn't know, would you?" Rarity remarked, sliding her saddlebags over her flanks. "Pegasi don't get cold, remember?" "Well, we can't tell when it's cold. Usually don't feel it," the Sky Blue Pegasus said. "It's not that cold. Not really." "Maybe not, but it's going to get colder the higher up we go," Applejack said. "I better start now and bundle up to do it when the snow's coming down on us. Besides, time for lunch." Dash went to the ground. "Well, and it's lunchtime." Rarity said. Using her match, she left 2 sweaters out of her saddlebags. From the right bag, she produced her hot pink cashmere sweater, while from the left, she lifted a sweater of alpaca wool, color of oatmeal. The alpaca sweater was slightly heavier. "Applejack, darling, here's a wear with this one," she said, levitating the alpaca sweater toward her earth pony comrade. "It's heavy enough to give you some warmth under that vest you brought." Applejack tugged a black vest of quilted wool out of her saddlebag. "This baby seems to be through plenty of worse all by itself," she said. "Darling, there's going to be snow. I've been out in blizzards with nothing but this here vest in my hat." "Applejack, please," Rarity said, putting on a pouty expression. "I'll just sip your hot food if I'm warm and you're sipping me up front. I know how much you love playing the martyr." "The what?" Applejack asked. "But be practical this time, please." The last word was accompanied by a flutter of the unicorn's long eyelashes. She leaned forward, her beautiful eyes wavering with intensity. Applejack rolled her green eyes at Rarity's display, but even she wasn't completely immune to the unicorn's charms. Finally, the orange earth pony sighed. "Oh, all right," she relented. She reached up for her hose and grabbed the flying sweater. "But don't be mad if I break a sweat in this heavy thing," she added, feeling the fitness of the material. "Not to worry, darling," Rarity said, as she imagined to unfold the pink cashmere sweater. "I can always wash it when we get back to Ponyville." "Okay, you played dress up long enough," Rainbow Dash said, pounding her hose to the rocky ledge. "Can we get to that place you were mentioning?" Applejack pulled the neck of her sweater over her head. "Sure thing. Just give me a second to get this sucker on." She wriggled her front legs through her leg holes, knowing that the sweater was quite soft on the inside, despite its rugged outer weave. The chill in the air around her was greatly dispelled. Putting her hat back onto her head, the earth pony finally tugged her long blonde mane around the neck so it was free. "We may have to hold on to dinner this evening if we want to serve our apple supply." "I actually brought some granola bars," Rarity mentioned. She pushed her pink sweater down more securely against her flanks. She gently extricated her violet mane from her sweater's neck. "They're not much, but they'll give us something to put in our stomachs. I'd rather not go to bed hungry if I can't help it." "Tom's book said there was plenty of grass at Gladsail," Applejack said. "Once we're over the mountains, we should be able to be off the land. If we're lucky, there'll even be a fruit or some sort of produce we can store for the return trip." Rainbow Dash blinked at her rose-colored eyes and grimaced. "Oh, funny bears. I forgot we had to make a round trip. Oh, this is going to take forever!" Rarity's expression indicated she had forgotten this as well. "Well," she said, trying to sound happy, "perhaps we'll meet a friendly eagle or a hippogriff who'll take us back home." "Hippogriff. Ha! Considering the later events of the series? Ha! Again. Too bad some point doesn't know how to teleport! Jazz groused, glancing at Rarity. Rarity's eyes filled with pain. She flinched away like she had been struck. Rainbow! Applejack snapped. Sky Blue Pegasus quickly realized her mistake. Oh my gosh, Rarity! I'm so sorry, she gasped, scooting over to her friend. I forgot! No, Rarity said, shooting away from her. It's quite all right, Rainbow. Her body language made it plain this was a lie. I suppose it would be more convenient if I knew how to teleport. As I really should learn someday. Now, don't you get your tail in a twist, Rarity, said Applejack, plucking some apples from her salad bags. You don't need to learn how to teleport if you don't want. You're plenty useful for this trip without knowing how. You see, Rainbow. You're playing festival with Clara Das. Oh, well, yeah, of course, Das said. I mean, you still have your other magic, and that's something AT and I can't do. Smiling fiercely, she threw her front leg around the right unicorn. I don't think there's a better possible group that could have gone on this trip. We got Applejack, Tuffet, the Pendulum Pony. We got you, a magical and creative unicorn. And we got me. She thought her chest with the other hoof. The fastest and fiercest Pegasus in all Equestria. Rarity chuckled, leaning into Rainbow Das. Perhaps you're right, Rainbow. I just hope I can be useful as you say. I know you and Applejack are the first ponies I would choose to go on an adventure with. I reckon we'll all be useful to each other before this trip's done, Applejack said. Now, let's look. They lunched on 2 apples each and chatted happily, enjoying each other's company and all feeling even better about their prospects for the rest of the trip. When they finished, the 2 ponies lifted up their saddlebags again, ready to continue their climb into the mountains. The sky was now light gray with cloud cover, and a cool wind began to blow. Higher and higher they climbed. They now had no choice but to slow down, as the path was becoming steep and jagged, filled with rocks. The wind howled around them, whipping through crevasses and cracks of the towering peaks which way. Whoa! Applejack cried, stopping suddenly. What's wrong, Tommy? Rarity asked. Applejack said nothing. Sitting down, she took her hat off of her front hoofs. Turning over, she tugged in the interior for a moment. Flipping the hat back on her head, she used both hoofs to tighten the drawstring as it came around her neck. It was pulled tight, and the cowcold's head was so securely snug. Mary put her hose on her cheeks and drained them down to her face slowly. Can we go now? Yup, Applejack said. We could go. They began to climb again, rounding one sharp bend where the wind blew fiercely. Her flight was quite heavy, her hat was tight in place. About an hour further up the mountains, it started to snow. Small, scattered flakes at first, then gradually heavier. The thick flurries were soaring around the wind on them. Again, Applejack mentioned them to halt. I reckon it's time to build it up a bit more, she said, sliding her saddlebags off. Reaching into her left bag, she pulled out her black quilted vest. I do believe you're right, Randy concurred, the white unicorn shivering. Sliding off her own saddlebags, she used her magic to open the right bag and pulled out her gray coat, sliding with white lamb's wool and exceptionally warm. Rainbow, you sure you're not that cold? Applejack called to the Pegasus, hovering just off the edge of the path. I'm fine, Das said back, a sing tone of noise in her voice. I told you before, Pegasus ponies don't get cold. Must be an ass, Applejack remarked, snapping together the last of her snaps on her vest. She pulled out an orange scarf from her right bag and slapped it snugly around her neck. Oh, heavens, no, Rarity said, using her magic to zip out her coat. Think of all the wonderful accessorizing and layering we would miss out on. This earned her an eye roll from the unreserved pony. Both ponies repositioned their saddlebags, with an impatient Rainbow Das flying alongside them. They continued their push into the increasingly driving snow. By the time evening arrived, the path was winding steeply through the mountain peaks that rose over all around them. They were trudging through a full-blown blizzard. The snow was so dense in the air they could barely see their way ahead of them. As Leslie came down from the sky, the wind was blowing so fast. She dragged her legs through the hoof-thick snow in between Applejack and Rarity, her rainbow-striped mane and tail whipping wildly in the wind. They were scrambling up a particularly steep rise, trying to keep their footing in the snow and the tumbling rocks. Stretching out one step, Applejack was surprised to put her hoof on level ground. The level's down to a player! She called back to the others. She put her other foot up to the ledge and hauled herself up. Rolling to her side, she finally reached to the top. Turning back around, she offered her front hose to Rainbow Das. I was a handsome rope nail. No lie, she thought. Still, Applejack was a strong pony, and Dash was light, as all Pegasi tended to be. So she easily pulled her friend up to her level space. She did the same for Rarity, though the unicorn's heavy saddlebags meant she needed to expend more effort. Once she was on level ground again, Rarity surveyed her surroundings. They seemed to be very high in the mountains indeed. Short mountain peaks spread away beneath them. Deep valleys between the peaks were filled with snowdrifts. Could we be at the highest point on this path? Rarity called for her friends. Sure is possible, Applejack remarked. She joined Rarity looking down below them. The snow rose a good way up to their legs. Girls! Ravendass's voice cut through the wind. Look at this! The ponies turned around and eyes widened. There was a large, round opening set into the mountainside far back from the ledge. It was no mere cave either. The opening was a neat, smooth circle, rimmed by an outline of stone on which symbols were carved. Anybody know what they'll say? Dash asked, pointing to strange cliffs. I sure ain't seen nothing like that before, Applejack remarked. Twilight's the scholar, not me, Rarity said. It's most certainly not more than a question. Sky Blue Pegasus began to creep forward, breathing out fog into the frigid mountain air. Rainbow! Applejack cried. You know what's in there? Just let it look, Dash said over her shoulder. Maybe we can stay here for the night. Rarity exchanged a glance with Applejack. I don't suppose you could hope to have a peek, right? She trudged through the snow towards Dash. Rainbow Dash drew closer into the mouth of the cave. She began to hear something. It was very faint, almost imperceptible at first. A gentle lilt coming from deep within the blankets. With each step she took, she could hear more clearly. The language was not one she could understand, but she knew instinctively that it was the spoken form of glyphs written around the cave's mouth. It crooned around her like a lullaby, but jauntier, more energetic. It beckoned her to wonderment. The Pegasus was deeply charmed. That music, she muttered, began to walk slowly forward. Music, Rarity said, several paces behind her. Unicorn paused and pricked her ears. She found she could hear it too. A haunting, mournful tune, sung by the most beautiful voice Rarity had ever heard. It was even more beautiful than Fluttershy's. Compelled her to wrap herself in its elegance. Oh my, she whispered, beginning to walk forward. Applejack, behind both of them, jerked her head. What are y'all doing? Can't you hear it? Dash said absent-mindedly. The music, Rarity said in a trance. Both ponies' eyes had grown and glazed. Applejack stomped her hoof. She leaned her head forward and craned her ears. Nope! She said after a few seconds. I don't hear no music. I think you're all just pulling my leg, to be honest. So cut it out, let's get going. I don't like the looks of this cave. Rainbow Dash and Rarity did not seem to be paying attention to her. They both continued their slow, deliberate walk into the cave. Applejack was highly annoyed. Would you mind coming back here and maybe getting on with... Where are y'all listening? The reserve pony galloped up behind the unicorn and Pegasus and sat at him. Hi! We gotta get going! She stomped her hoof impatiently on the ground. Unseen by any of them, her cueing mark flashed. Suddenly, the reserve pony did hear something. Something terrifying. She supposed it could be called singing, but a loud, rumbling roar was so dense and throaty she could barely tell the words were being spoken. It echoed from deep within the cave, harsh and threatening. Rarely! Rainbow! Don't go in there! She called, galloping forward and grabbing both ponies' tails in her mouth. She planted her hooves and gave them a tug, trying to drag them backwards. Both ponies glared back at her, their empty eyes flickering with expressions of malice. Rainbow Dash flapped into the air and jerked away, while Rarity used her magic to pry Applejack's mouth open. Both ponies resumed their forward progress, pace packing up to a trot. Panicking, Applejack did what she always did in desperations. She thought about how she would handle things if she were on the farm. Galloping past her two friends, she skidded to a stop next to the wall of the cave, reared up on her front legs, and bucked with all her might. Her back hooves slanted to the rock, sending a long, forking crack, racing up the wall and sliding across the ceiling. Dust and crags immediately began to tumble down, stalactites were cracking off and falling like stone daggers to the floor below. A small rock hit Rarity on the head, snapping her back to her senses. What? Oh my! She cried, looking up at the glassy ceiling. Dash was still tranced by the singing. She could hear it in her growing din. Come on! Applejack called to her. She cut across in front of Dash and ducked down, then rose up, putting the sky blue Pegasus across her back. galloping with all her might. Verity close behind her. Applejack dodged and wove around falling rock as he pressed desperately towards the entrance to the cave. Silently, gasping for breath, the three of them emerged into the driving snow of the mountains. Not a moment too soon, the cave completely fell apart in their wake. Ceiling and walls alike tumbling down into a pile of rubble completely filled the mouth of the cave, spilled out to a rocky ledge. Huh? Rainbow Dash finally murmured, pupils shrinking back to normal size. What happened? All I recall is hearing some beautiful singing, Rarity said. Applejack, darling, did you? A loud, roaring howl rose up from the crumpled cave. It came up from deep within the chest of something unseen and strange, full of rage and annoyance, potent enough to cut through the dozens of feet of piled rock, and who knew how much more empty space deep within the cave. The roar gave way to snarling and gnashing, and the three ponies swore they could feel the ground beneath them thud with a faint pounding. Jeez! Is that what was singing? Dash yelled, drawing back. Sure was, Applejack said. You all seem to hear it pretty loud, but for me it was just as ugly as it is now. Perhaps there was some sort of magic, Rarity speculated. A bewitching song to learn travelers to the doom. Oh, I do wish Twilight were here. She knows this stuff better than I do. So why didn't you get bewitched, AJ? Dash asked. She smiled. Maybe you're just too stubborn? No clue, the Reserve Pony said. I don't see the point of pondering any further. Right now, I'd much like to get away from this place in a hurry. Howling was picking up again. Verity chuckled. I think you're right, Applejack. She gave Applejack a big smile. And thank you for saving me. Us. Rainbow Dash and I would have been gone if you hadn't been there. Oh yeah, Dash said. Thanks a ton, Applejack. She flapped her wings and was airborne again. The blizzard had died down at some point at the present altitude. The winds were not as fierce. Now let's go! They moved on as quickly as their legs could carry them. It's rarity, I guess. They did have appeared to have reached the high point of the trail, at least for the time being, and now it was all downhill. The path soon led them to a winding, narrow valley, almost a crevasse between steep hills jutting up on either side. As they descended from the summit into the vale, the blizzard began to pick up again, once more forcing Rainbow Dash to the ground. As Pegasus looked around, she noticed the snow was incredibly thick, cut across and around them in sheets of pure white, filling Applejack's scarf and Rarity's coat. Dash still wasn't cold, but the wind was cutting her like a knife. She had to blink furiously to keep the snow out of her eyes. It was also getting darker, and not just from the snow. Night was coming on fast. The path seemed to stubbornly open up, crevasse giving way to an open plain. Now there was snow everywhere. It had room to swirl and gather. It was no less fierce for the widening space in which it moved. Dash scanned her surroundings. Up, down, side to side, everything had begun to feel the flickering white. No visibility beyond a few feet. She was trapped. She was closed up in a box of snow. There was no way out. Girls! She cried, shouting to be heard above the roar of the wind. Did y'all say something? Applejack said, called over her shoulder. Head firm, covering the force of wind. Dash began to breathe faster, slowing her pace until she finally stopped walking entirely. I'm trapped! She sighed again and again, looking around her. I can't see the sky! She finally yelled at Applejack. Oof! Rarity cried as she bumped into the sky blue Pegasus' rump. What's wrong, Rainbow Dash? She yelled. I can't see the sky! Dash yelled over her shoulder. She began to tremble, fizzing furiously, lifting one leg after the other, fluttering her wings fruitlessly in the gale-force winds. Spike up! Applejack yelled over the winds, turning to face her. I can't see the sky! Rainbow Dash yelled at the top of her lungs. Sky! 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 The last scream of the word finally cut through the wind, interference with the wind, and echoed deeply against the surrounding mountains. Dash was breathing hard, shivering now. Applejack looked her up and down. Well, of course you can't see the side. Can't even see the mountainside, though it's right there. Rumble began to fill her ears. Faint initially. It grew quicker. The world around Applejack began to shudder. She looked frantically about, searching for the source of the disturbance. Applejack Rarity spun around, likely seeking the noise's source. Rainbow Dash was still frozen in place. Only blatantly did Applejack realize the rumbling noise was coming from overhead. She looked up. just in time to see a wall of white block out what remained of daylight. Oh, horse apple! Boom! White, cold, cold, white, everywhere and anywhere, all around them, rolling, thundering, and piling. The avalanche. Someone help me! SOS! Guys, I'm sorry, this is the only gags I got! Still piling up thicker and thicker, rumbling continually for a few minutes, thundering in the darkness around and above them as more snow fell down. A few seconds later, there was silence. Applejack sputtered, poking her head up from the snow, staring around the blankness. The snow was packed so tightly around her, she had no light filtered from above. However, she seemed to have raised her head up in a hollow in the snow. She now drew the freezing white powder to her saddlebags. She flipped one open and dug through until she found her flashlight. She pulled it out and used her tongue to flick it on, illuminating a miniature of a blue-white cave of snow, only about a head taller than her hat. There was sitting in the snow next to her. Verity's head popped up. A few feet away, Rainbow Dash emerged as well. Verity blinked. Ah! She screamed. Ah! Ah! Dash shrieked, spasming and twisting through the snow around her. We're trapped! We're trapped! Oh, Celestia, I can't see! I can't move! We're doomed! Rarity wailed. We're doomed and we're going to die in this horrid abyss! Hey, y'all! Upsuck said. I think we should just calm down! I can't see! I'm in the dark and the sky's gone! We're going to be stuck here and we're going to starve! Unbelievably, I can't move my wings! I'm stuck and my wings are gone! What do you even want us? And when some poor traveler finds our bodies, my mate will be bleached white! So they look at my sweater and think, this pony didn't know how to color coordinate at all! And then I, calm down! Oh, you calm down! Right now! Applejack barked, using her soft voice she used with cattle and pigs. Yeah, that was kind of annoying too. Set Rarity up. Deep breaths, blushing fiercely. I'm sorry, Applejack. I don't know what came over me. Just so you keep your head on your shoulders. The last thing we need is to overreact to an imaginable problem, Applejack said. She turned towards Dash. As for you, Rainbow, I expect... Rainbow? Maybe Dash had stopped screaming, but appeared no calmer. Pupils had shrunk to dots, curled up in the snow, where she lay shivering, unblinking. Can't see, can't move, can't see, can't move, can't see, can't move, can't see, can't move, can't see, can't move. She whispered again and again, occasionally darting glances at her white surroundings. Rainbow? Applejack said, softer, more gently. She scooted over towards the Pegasus. Rainbow? Are you alright? I can't see, can't move, 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 can't see. Applejack shuffled through the snow until she was right next to the trembling Rainbow Dash. She sat with her legs beneath her, leaned against Dash's sky blue body, resting her head gently against Dash's head. It's okay, she whispered gently. It's okay. It's all right. Her pony could feel her friend's jagged breathing, so he kept her own breathing steady and even, soothing her, like she did with Apple Bloom when she had a nightmare. It's okay. It's okay. Rarity slowly scooted over to join them, leaning against Rainbow Dash on her other side. She spoke no words, but began to hum a gentle little tune, music of a lullaby, as she ought to sing to Sleepyville. She nuzzled Dash softly as she held, planting a brief kiss behind her ear. It's okay. It's okay. Applejack continued to whisper. Slowly, inch by inch, Dash's breathing returned to normal. Her eyes grew back to their healthy size, and her shivering slowly abated. Her rose-colored eyes slid close as she breathed out a long, shaking sigh. Thank you, she whispered. She didn't want her friends to see her cry, but she had a hard time keeping the tears out of her eyes. She sniffled and scooted away from Rarity and Applejack, wiping her eyes with her hoof. Sorry about that. Applejack smiled warmly at her. No, Blake likes Sugar Cube. You never told me you were claustrophobic. I'm not, the Pegasus pony said. She glanced down to the snow. I just like being able to see the sky. When I can't, I get nervous. Applejack scooted back to where her flashlight lay in the snow. She picked it up and planted it on its base in the snow, in the middle of a clear space, lighting up the snow cave around them. She looked up at the ceiling close to her heads. You know, she said, I reckon we should stay here tonight. Under the snow, Dash answered carelessly. Snow's a good insulator, Applejack said. We've never minded falling on the ground during the winter time at the farm. Keeps the heat in from the ground. And down here, we're out of the wind. We can stay down under here. Hopefully the blizzard will blow over by morning. Will we run out of air down here? Dash asked. Now we take some more room, Applejack said. And if we give ourselves a little bit of a hole, spoke to rip out snow cube on a flashlight. As a small chunk of it to collapse. A few stray flakes from the blizzard blew outside. Verity sighed. I suppose that's the best we can do, in lieu of finding another cave. And I'm not entirely inclined to trust caves right now, she said. It's a little cramped, you know, Dash said, stretching her wings out of the snow. Really, Glenn, you'll take it down with a little bit of your magic? Applejack said. I'll reckon just a few feet of snow between us and the ground. 9. Rarity's horn shimmered. Snow began to fly away from the middle of the small space. It pulled away from the bottom of the snow cave and revealed yet more snow. Once it turned, flew away, piling back against the circular opening created by Rarity's magic. About 4 feet down, black rock finally emerged. Applejack's flashlight clarified as she dropped it down. No reserve plane leapt into the hollow, followed shortly by the sky blue Pegasus and white unicorn. Racing into her saddlebags, Applejack pulled out one of her blankets and spread it across the rock. Since he pulled out another blanket and spread it on top of the first. Really? You brought a blanket? Bring it out here. Rarity took a moment to unzip her coat with her magic, pulling it off and sliding her front legs out of the sleeves. She reached into her saddlebag and pulled out a velvet black blanket that shimmered slightly in the light of Applejack's flashlight. Applejack gave the blanket an annoyed look. I always have to be fancy with that one, she thought. Still, it would serve. She took it up with her mouth and laid it on top of a second blanket. Now, we just bunch together and roll up. 3 of us together with these blankets to make enough heat to keep warm. We can gather it up in my coat too, Verity said, starting to shiver around the warm gray overcoat on her body. It's quite warm. Sure, Jas remarked and yawned. I'm tired, girls. I'm tired, and I've been out in the wind. You mind if we go to bed? That's the most sensible thing you say in hours, Applejack said with a smile. He laid Rarity's coat out on top of her blanket on the far right side. The 3 points snuggled close together in the last lining. On a count of 3, roll left, Applejack said. 1, 2, 3. Roll left and move left, wrapping themselves in 3 layers of blankets that they did. When he reached the end, they cocooned, the biting cold of the snowy world outside, distant memory. Don't forget to leave enough of an opening to breathe, darling, Rarity remarked, fumbling against Applejack's flank. There's air coming in from up there, Applejack said, noticing a small crack on her snout. She yawned. Phew, I'm feeling more bleep by the moment. Good night, Everpella. Good night. Good night, girls, Death said. She looked between Rarity and Applejack. The 2 points were surprised when she stretched her wings out over them. Thank you, again. Smiles on their faces, Rarity and Applejack scooted closer to Rainbow Dash. It's difficult to gauge one's tiredness after a long, difficult day, till one comes to the end of it. Having endured much hardship and one brush of death, 3 points now found they were utterly exhausted, and so slipped quickly into a dreamless slumber.